Gareth Southgate has shown his steel with his selections for England's 2018 World Cup squad. Credit Catherine Ivill. Getty Images. When the Football Association appointed Gareth Southgate as the long-term England manager in December 2016, the chief executive Martin Glenn said that he had the successful candidate independently assessed for mental strengths, as one might an elderly relative after a bad fall. It was part of the FA's ongoing attempts at corporate competency, an unforgiving battle for an organization forever destined to take all of the responsibility in English football while retaining very little of the influence, but that's another story. At some point in that process, one imagines Gareth was asked to recall a time he made a difficult decision and/or rate his teamwork skills on a scale of 1 to 10, so just in case England do lose to Tunisia, Glenn has something from HR to show the select committee hearing. All told, since then, with the Eniola Aluko episode, the chucking overboard of Mark Sampson and now the battle over Wembley's future, it is more often the FA board's mental strength you have cause to worry about. Southgate, on the other hand, seems fine, having completed the quiet assassination of some prominent international careers along the way, including a door politely closed in the face of Joe Hart and Jack Wilshere this week. Wayne Rooney, Theo Walcott, Chris Smalling and now those latest two, not even on standby, have all been led quietly to the exit. In the case of England's leading goalscorer and most capped outfield player, he even acquiesced to sit alongside Southgate in a press conference to announce him being left out for the first time. Southgate's was a 57-cap, 9-year England career, 44 of them starts but only 8 of those caps in tournaments, and 5 in his first, at Euro '96, arguably the high point of his international career, regardless of how it ended. What it did give him was an insider's view of the strange world of the national team, encompassing the David Beckham supremacy and the indulgences of the Sven-Goran Eriksson years, England formation builder there. Seems to be little that surprises or rattles Southgate, a content man who does not seem to place much store in the profile, and is wealthy enough not to need the job. We saw the shape of his World Cup team emerge in the 2 March friendlies against Holland and Italy when he played a 3-man defense, and variation on 3-5-2, including Kyle Walker as his centre-back. It is risky. He has always said that he wants a team to play the ball out from the back and has encouraged England's chief tap dancer on the brink, John Stones, to do it even when the rest of the nation is watching through their fingers. This is what he had been building towards, a liberated World Cup squad encompassing 5 players of 23 and under, including Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who has 2 caps for England and was the shy teenager when Southgate's under-21s bombed at the 2015 European Championship. At the World Cup, England will try to press opponents high, build up play from the back and keep possession, which may look laborious at times, but Southgate hopes it will pay off in the long run. The obvious concern is that there are teams that have done it much better, for much longer, but that alone is not a reason to change the approach. It was Roy Keane, Southgate's former ITV pundit, who said when the England manager was first appointed that he must have that nasty streak in him. Obviously, he is not as nasty as me. Southgate knows that playing that hand as boldly as Keane, despairing incredulity at anything less than Manchester United turn of the millennium standard, neither fits his character or the job he is asked to do, but he is ruthless. Smalling was Southgate's most unforgiving public takedown, one occasion when he allowed his words to run away from him and probably left too much of a sting on a hard-working, low-maintenance player who has always done his best. But Southgate was also a hard-working, low-maintenance player whose international career expired without fanfare, and that, he can tell his players, is simply the way of it. Walcott was dropped with a phone call on his birthday in March last year. I've got to say he wasn't chuffed to bits. Southgate recalled at the time with mild amusement at his own timing. Rooney saw the writing on the wall last summer and quit, with Southgate having asked him to replace the injured Adam Lallana in the September squad, the perfect snooker. Rooney would not have justified a place at the World Cup finals on the basis of the last 6 months, and a decision had been coming for a year. When he was appointed in December 2016, Southgate walked into the episode of Rooney's well-documented boozy wedding crash at the Grove Hotel on the eve of the Spain game in November 2016. Southgate chose his words carefully that day, making general observations about the way that the game has changed, recalling the days of beer on the way home on the coach, and noting, "The rest of the league aren't doing that now, the rest of the world aren't doing that." But the truth must have been apparent to him that England's once leading light getting sloshed at the team hotel on the night before a game hinted at behaviour that was unsustainable in the long run. 19 months on, and with the ascendance of Pep Guardiola's abstemious Manchester City regime, when sacrifice and personal development are the big takeaways, Rooney's behaviour seems even more out of keeping with the times. It is testament to Southgate that he has moved on from Rooney so smoothly, and if this current squad feels callow and untried, its way of playing untested, then that is because they are, and it is. But it is worth recalling that Southgate's predecessor announced after his single World Cup qualifier in charge that Rooney could play anywhere, although we never got to see the theory in action. It took both of them going to Everton to prove it to be wrong, and instead Southgate has wrought the changes now rather than waiting for us all to find out during a World Cup. Another FIFA own goal. The newly proposed FIFA Club World Cup, 24 teams, £100 million prize money, played in China in June, feels like the peak lunacy we thought we may have left behind when the old order were swept out, yet it sounds like the president Gianni Infantino is all for this madness, no doubt to bring in the money that has been lost on so many tarnished World Cup decisions, and also to break the UEFA Champions League stranglehold. For the rest of us, it is just a dreadful vision of the future as the whole Gazprom and Heineken show moves around the planet in search of the highest bidder, playing games in the middle of the night in countries whose own domestic football is just an afterthought. It would be bad enough if this was some breakaway plan hatched by the latest petrodollar billionaire, but this is FIFA, the world governing body, that are once again doing their best to break the game. Join Paul Hayward, Jamie Carragher, Alex Scott, Jason Burt, Sam Wallace and Jim White for a special World Cup preview event.